Good morning, I'm Liz Calvert and I run a website called Heart-Centered Coaching. But in September, I'm launching Ancestral Healing webinar. I'd love you to join me. So why should you? Why should you come and look at your ancestors? Well, they're closer than you think. That's why you should. Their pluses and their minuses are closer than you think. What we're going to do is we're going to introduce you to all the ways to connect with your ancestors, because they're in your DNA, but they're nearby. You're going to be able to do meditation, knock on their door, and you're going to bring questions to your ancestors. And you're going to journey with them in your meditation. We're going to look at healing ancestral wounds. And we're going to follow the principles for a new and a deep appreciation for our ancestors. Because when we heal our ancestors and appreciate them, in many ways we're healing ourselves. So ancestral healing has far-reaching consequences. There's even scientific evidence to prove that we pass on wounds we haven't resolved ourselves. And it's easy to hear the stories from our parents about our ancestors and make judgments and not look a little bit deeper. So this is a 6-week event. It's an hour and a half once a week on a Wednesday, starting Wednesday, September 13th. If Wednesdays are no good for you, in October I'm doing one on Tuesdays, so you can join us on Tuesday. It's a journey, it's a process, and we'll do some teaching and every week some meditation, and then we'll have some homework and a few questions. So you get to know everybody else on the webinar, and it's very personal. I like to work with you, with your ancestors, and I like to take you through your blocks and show you how other people have gone through their blocks. So your family is unique to you, but when you see everybody else's family, you can see actually there's a lot of similarities. We've done one seminar so far. We're finishing it next week. I'm really excited about it. It's uncovered surprising things. We look at the wounds that we got as children and the walls we put up because of these wounds. And then we're looking at how do we take these walls down. That can be quite scary, particularly on your own. So a webinar gives you a pal, and it gives you somebody else to chat about in the week. I always pal you up with someone. And it's a way to reflect. So we build ancestral altars, we write journals, we make prayers, we write questions, we think about our dreams. So the journey is very much a mystery, really, because we just don't know what we're going to end up with. And what we've seen is 6 weeks is a great amount of time to really see the patterns and the danger of making assumptions with our family, and to really grow some deeper compassion. I'll give you an example from my family. My parents grew up in London, in Islington, and their parents grew up in Islington. That's how it was in those days. In fact, my parents went to school together. It's amazing, isn't it? And they married because they knew each other as kids. So it turns out that my mum's grandmother was absolutely petrified of the workhouse and really, really scared of no money. And even if she had money, she was scared of having no money. And when she had no money, she was scared of having no money. So it didn't matter whether she had money or didn't have money. There was a lot of fear around money. So when I grew up, I opened my mother's purse and there was nothing in it. And I felt this fear drop into me like a slot. profound. And this fear I carried for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. This is what I have managed to go to my grandmother and appreciate, that being in a workhouse is scary. Because in those days, you had to be very poor, but they didn't look after you. There was no nurture there. People died, and it was like a prison. So that was quite a wounding that I inherited in my family, just to give you an example of the sort of things you're going to uncover. I had no idea I was carrying that wound. I knew I wasn't great with money. I knew I had a fear of money, but I didn't know where it came from or why. So Winifred, her name was Winifred McDermott. No one had remembered Winifred. So I wanted to dedicate my webinar to Winifred, to the forgotten ones. The ancestors have gone through a lot of suffering so you can be here. And of course, sometimes your life doesn't work, but of course, sometimes your life does work. And what I really want to do is clear the decks so that you get a free run at living your life, and the ancestors can bring you wind under your wings, but you don't have any agenda to fulfill for them. You're free just to be yourself. And at the end of 6 weeks, I think you feel a sense of profound closeness to yourself. We talk to your inner child, and we make sure your inner child is feeling connected, nurtured and loved by you. And we look at the role that your ancestors have played, and we're looking at doing future webinars to heal all those deeper wounds of rejection, shame, loss with the family. So it brings you closer to your family. And it brings you a deep compassion for what they went through. And it brings you many things, many, many, many things. So if you'd like to join me, it's £99 in the UK. So in dollars, it's a bit more. It's a Wednesday night. I'd like you to come live. I know that's not always possible. I will be doing them on the weekends next year. But I'd like to do them live because there's real healing going on, and I really want to be with you when you go into your fires and have those conversations. And I will be doing one-on-ones in between for people who need that. So it's 6 o'clock UK time on Wednesday the 13th of September. It's an ancestral seminar. You can engage full on, or you can stand back and watch a bit. But I am asking you to pal up with someone and chat with them in the week to connect. So you get a bit out of your head rather than doing it on your own. I do ask you to build ancestral altars to honour your ancestors. And I do ask you to dig into the stories a bit more. So it's not just a brush or a surface story, it's a bit deeper. And I ask you to pray. So we give you prayers, we give you structure, we give you homework, and we're asking you to come with deep commitment and an open heart to heal your family's wounds so they don't get passed on to the next generation. You know, in many ways, we're individuals, but we belong to a family, and our family, if we go back 10 generations, that's more than 1,000 people have been here so that you could be here. Isn't that amazing? And you're unique. There's nobody else like you. Nobody. So I think this 6-week seminar reminds you how unique you are. And it brings in balance. What worked in your family? There was good stuff too. It wasn't all bad. And if it's good, there's also difficult stuff that we need to balance as well. So it's that whole sense of bringing back power and balance in your family. So I'd love you to join me. Go to my website, heartcenteredcoaching.co.uk. Go to events and you'll see there Ancestral webinar, Ancestral Healing. We're going to heal your ancestors. You're going to feel great at the end of those 6 weeks. And then next year, I'm doing a trip to Argentina to work with the shamans on the Andes. And there are 4 places on that trip, and I'll be marketing that. It's great for women to come on their own, but it's also designed for women to bring their husbands, because there's a trip around Argentina and the wineries and the views for the men who don't want to join the shaman experience, the healing experience. So if you're interested in Argentina, there's 9 of us going, so we have limited numbers. We've got 3 coming already, so we just need 6 more. So we're looking for some people to join us, and that will be the 18th of February 2024. And I will be planning more trips to explore our ancestors and complete rituals and to honour your lineage. This is a multi-faith. I'm not sticking to one religion. I'm very much thrilled that Amanda Ellis from Angelic Celestial Colours, she's created this Christ Consciousness deck, which is the first ever deck dedicated to helping us model the teachings that lead us to being Christed beings ourselves. So I'm looking at a self-mastery, you becoming a master, and we're using her cards as symbols to open up your ideas around connecting to your ancestors and the people that have passed that maybe you haven't said goodbye to. So healing some grief, healing some loss, healing some sadness, and starting to celebrate your potential and be free from all that. So releasing a lot of burdens, releasing a lot of loss, and then just having nothing there and seeing what gets seeded. Isn't that exciting? It's quite exciting, isn't it? So I'm loving it. I'm leading it. There's also Kate Bester, who works with me in Cape Town. I was in 20 years in Cape Town, so there's quite a few people from Cape Town joining me. And if you're watching this and you're from Cape Town, we have a special arrangement with the price, because we understand that the South African currency is very difficult and different. So a lot of friends from Cape Town joining. I hope that you find it, I hope that you look into it a bit more and decide whether this is something for you. Many of you have known me for some time. You know I've always been interested in family constellations, and I think ancestral healing is now making it available for everybody. I think it's time. And, you know, growing up in England and having an English stroke, Irish stroke, Celtic history, I know there's a lot of wounds in my family that are being unravelled, and I'm inviting my family to come and join me for this webinar. So come and join me, bring your families. It's great fun to do together. And let me know on the webinar on my website, or email me, lizcalvert404@gmail.com, and I'll send you the information. And if you want to have a conversation with me about the webinar, let's do that. But I think you'll find it extremely helpful, because mostly it's in where we get stuck is here and here. You know, there isn't so much to be stuck about elsewhere. So I'd love to invite you to come. I'd love you to bring your families. I'd love you to bring your journals, bring your candles, bring your symbols, and we'll do some ancestral work. And we're going to evolve like a community around ancestors. It's going to be fun. So I'm opening this YouTube channel with this. I'm excited about being more on YouTube. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I've got my website. So just register. And if you can't make this one, but you're interested in ancestral healing, I'll be doing some webinars. I'll be doing some teachings on YouTube in the future about ancestral healing, so you can pick up a lot there. But it's not the same as actually engaging it's like watching tennis. Watching tennis is great, but playing tennis, that's a whole nother ball game. So I'm inviting you to come and engage with your ancestors. There's no point just watching. But you can watch for a while and get to know me for a while, and that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. Be my pleasure. So I'm sending you a great deal of love. I'm sending you a great deal of appreciation. I love this picture here. This is the Holy Spirit. I'm quite into the Holy Spirit. And there's Jesus. I'm quite into Jesus as well. But it's more a kind of an open, angelic, it's just open to the angelic celestials and the dolphins and the serendipities. We're just opening it to all the good light in the world to come and assist us to work with our ancestors, to heal our past. So come and join us. I'll see you the other side. Okay, bye-bye.